The Sentinel's pride hummed with the usual rhythm of deep space. Engines thrumming, life support systems cycling, crew members moving through corridors with practiced efficiency. But today, something was different. Today, Hana returned from patrol limping. Captain Varel stood on the bridge, his four eyes scanning the tactical display when the comms crackled. Shuttle docking in Bay 3. Patrol team returning. He nodded to his first officer, a gesture that needed no translation across species. But as he made his way toward the docking bay, an unusual sight stopped him in his tracks. The cubs were waiting. 7 human children, ranging from ages 5 to 12, stood in a rigid line across the corridor leading to the medical bay. Their small faces were set with determination that would have been amusing under different circumstances. But Varel had served with humans long enough to recognize that particular expression. They weren't moving. Cubs, he said, using the term humans seemed to appreciate, his translator rendering his clicks and whistles into standard. You must clear the corridor. The oldest, a girl named Sarah with braided hair, crossed her arms. Not until you tell us what happened to Hana. Varel's neck ridges flared slightly, a sign of confusion in his species. Through the transparent section of the bay doors, he could see the patrol team disembarking. And there she was, Hana, humanity's finest scout, limping heavily as 2 medics supported her weight. Her left leg was bandaged, her usually pristine tactical suit scorched and torn. This is not appropriate, Cubs. Medical personnel need access. Then you better talk fast, Captain, said Marcus, a 10-year-old with his mother's stubborn jaw. His mother, incidentally, was Lieutenant Commander Hayes, currently stationed in engineering. Hana promised to teach us self-defense today. She never breaks promises. The captain's translator chip struggled to convey his exasperated whistle. In his 40 years of service across 12 different vessels, he had commanded warriors from 17 species. He had negotiated with hostile alien collectives, navigated political minefields, and once talked down a rogue AI from detonating a station. But human children? They were a different challenge entirely. I do not have details yet. Not good enough, said little Emma, barely 6, her voice wavering but her stance firm. The other children nodded in agreement. Vorel's mandibles clicked in what humans had learned to recognize as his version of a sigh. The medics were trying to maneuver Hana around the obstruction, but she had stopped, leaning against the wall, a tired smile on her dark face. Let me talk to them, Captain, Hana called out, her voice strained but steady. Absolutely not. You need medical attention. 5 minutes won't kill me, but if you try to carry me past them, they'll probably stage a mutiny. Her eyes twinkled despite the obvious pain. I trained them too well. The captain's neck ridges flattened. Resignation. He gestured for the medics to wait, then turned back to his miniature blockade. Very well, but I will explain, and then you will allow Hana to receive treatment. Agreed? 7 heads nodded in unison. Vorel accessed his tactical implant, pulling up the patrol logs. 3 hours ago, Hana's team detected unusual energy signatures near the asteroid cluster in Sector 7. Standard protocol dictated investigation. What kind of energy? Sarah asked, her arms still crossed but her scientific curiosity evident. Unknown configuration. Potentially a new species technology, or perhaps a natural phenomenon. That is why scouts investigate. He paused, watching their faces. They were listening with an intensity that reminded him why humans had become such valuable allies. They cared with a ferocity that few species matched. Hana volunteered to go in first, alone. Of course she did, Marcus muttered, and several children nodded knowingly. The energy source was a trap, not technological, biological. A creature we had not previously encountered, something vast and ancient, drifting in the void. When Hana's scanner beam touched it, it reacted. Emma's eyes went wide. Did it try to eat her? In a manner of speaking, yes. It extended tendrils, thousands of them, seeking to draw her craft into itself. Varel's eyes dimmed slightly, remembering the frantic comm chatter. Her shuttle was damaged, life support failing. The creature's biology was resistant to our weapons. But she got away, Sarah said. It wasn't a question. She got away, Vorel confirmed, but not before she collected samples, recorded comprehensive data, And this is the part I particularly want you to understand. Ensured her entire team evacuated first. She held position between the creature and their escape vector. Alone, her shuttle took damage that would have destroyed a ship twice its size. He watched the children process this. Their expressions shifted from worry to understanding to something that looked remarkably like pride. The limp? Marcus asked quietly. When the creature finally released her damaged shuttle, the inertial dampeners failed during her evasive maneuvers. The impact against her restraints fractured her tibia and fibula. She piloted back manually, without automated assistance, because the ship's computer core was compromised. Silence hung in the corridor for a moment. Then Emma asked the question Vorel had been expecting. Is she going to be okay? The captain's ridges softened, his species equivalent of a gentle smile. Your Dr. Okonkwo assures me that human bones heal remarkably well, especially with modern medical intervention. Hana will be teaching you self-defense again within 6 weeks, possibly 4, knowing her stubbornness. 6 weeks, Hana called from behind him. I'll be back in 3, Captain. These cubs need their training. The medical staff will determine. 3 weeks, Hana repeated firmly, and the children grinned. Vorel realized, not for the first time, that humans possessed a will that transcended logic. They made promises to their young and moved stars to keep them. They threw themselves between danger and those they protected without hesitation, and they healed, physically, emotionally, with a resilience that bordered on supernatural. Very well, cubs, why, he said, stepping aside. She has clarified. Now move. They did, parting like a perfectly choreographed unit. But as the medics moved forward with Hana, each child reached out, a touch on her hand, a gentle pat on her shoulder, a whispered, "Thank you for coming back." Sarah was the last. She looked up at Hana with solemn eyes. "You're really okay." Hana crouched down, wincing slightly, until she was eye level with the girl. "I'm really okay. Humans are tough, remember? I taught you that." "You taught us that protecting others is worth the risk," Sarah corrected. "That too." As the medics finally escorted Hana away, Vorel stood with the 7 children watching until she disappeared around the corner. Marcus looked up at him. "Thank you for explaining, Captain. We just needed to know she was safe." Vorel's translator struggled with his next sound, something between a whistle and a hum that conveyed respect. "You have learned well from her. Now back to your families before they begin searching for you." The children scattered, their worry eased. Their trust in their protector reaffirmed. Vorel remained in the corridor for a moment longer, contemplating the curious nature of humans. They inspired loyalty not through authority or power, but through sacrifice and steadfast promises kept. Their young learned by example, absorbing the courage of their guardians like starlight. The galaxy, he reflected, had not stood a chance once humanity ventured into the stars. Not because they were the strongest or the most technologically advanced, but because when one of them promised to come back, they did. Limping, wounded, half dead perhaps, but they came back, and their cubs made sure of it.